Try talking now.
Now
you're loud and clear.
Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem. Where's my Fire Emblem?
I know. You're loud and clear now, for some reason. Yeah, I don't understand this one bit. It doesn't like me using headphones.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you hearing any feedback on your end?
Not right now, no.
Alright, then we're good. Okay. Hold on. Let me just I need to remove the Beast Raban because my main workhorse is turned on. Hold on a second. I need to save this last important document towards my anxiety papers. Because I'm trying to make it that the event page has all the pertinent information. Hold on a second, Jason. I need to see my other screen. Because it is literally behind my laptop.
Okay.
Okay, now I just need to unplug the scanner. Hold on a second. Good thing I have two mouses. Because Lord knows this would be a pain in the butt if I had one mouse. I need two gaming mouses is what I need when I have more money. A duplicate of this one. See this one? Can you see it okay?
Yeah.
It's a Shark. It's a very good mouse. Gaming mouse.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We're still recording now, so you can shoot the shit if you want.
Steven made me laugh today or tonight because we were getting situated, everything for the Golden Kings episode that we were going to record now on Friday. Like,
Golden Kings? What the hell is Golden Kings?
The Game of the Year awards. That's what we call our Game of the Year awards.
Oh! Well, that's pretty neat.
It plays to the whole CheckMate thing.
Well, screw it. I'm just going to upload this video as is. I don't give a shit. Yeah, we're starting now. Officially, we're starting now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a What the Fuck edition of L Supercast. With me today is MSUHitman, and we're shooting the shit today about PAX East and CheckMate Arcade and what may or may not happen. There, intro done. Let's start yapping.
Okay. Well, Steven made me laugh tonight. We were earlier when he had time. Finally, I wrestled him away from Destiny or whatever in the world he's been playing, and we were getting together nominees for our Game of the Year awards, and he's asking me these questions about Fire Emblem, because he was all upset that he couldn't get the Fire Emblem Collector's Edition now. It's like, that sold out, like, within a week of it being announced. It was like, when was it announced? I was like, the November Nintendo Direct? And he's just like, well, I just didn't know what was in it, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, well, I'm sorry, but you were so pissed off about the setup of that game that I didn't even know if you were going to get it. He's like, well, I can be mad about it, but I'm still going to get it. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe, so maybe it's my bad that I didn't tell him about it, but, that was in the middle of November. I'm working both jobs a lot then, so I was more worried about me getting it. So the Fire Emblem, the way they're doing it, it's sort of like Pokemon, but crazier. So
sort of like Pokemon, but crazier. Interesting.
Well, when a mainline Pokemon game comes out, there's two different versions.
Oh no, don't tell me Fire Emblem is doing that now.
It is, but like to the 10th degree. Even crazier. Alright,
wait, are they doing 4 versions?
Huh?
Are they doing 4 versions?
Technically it's 3, but let me explain. So there are 2 different families. It's kind of the storyline. I mean, without getting too much into spoilers, basically it's a storyline that's been done plenty of times. You grow up with one family, and then you find out, oh, that's not your real family. This is your real family. Like you were kidnapped when you were a baby. But you don't know this until... So there's 2 different... Like when you go to the store and see Fire Emblem, if there's any copies left next week, there'll be 2 copies there. They'll say Fire Emblem Fates Birthright and Fire Emblem Fates Conquest.
Okay, so, now before you continue, because I'm already losing interest. Not because it's Fire Emblem, but because it's Nintendo. Is it for a portable system?
Yes, it's 3DS.
Alright, I don't care, because I don't have 3DS. Let's move on.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about the major big kahuna here. PAX freaking East. You guys are going.
Yeah. We last went with CheckMate Arcade 2 years ago, and it was just a thing where I've got to build up enough money to go, and since Steven doesn't have a job, I had to build up enough to, pay for his ticket as well.
What?
And
you telling me that he still doesn't have a job?
He had one for the holidays, but it was a temp job.
Oh boy. Okay. You know, I can understand that it's really hard. I can understand that. But when you spend so many freaking years without a freaking job, how the hell do you even buy games to begin with?
I don't know. There may be some medical issues that I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that. I've never pried into Steven's personal life, and I don't...
Nor do I.
Mean to...
But it's very confusing. And somewhat hilarious.
I don't know. I really don't want to get into anything, revolving around that. But basically, I am good for... That was his... Let's see here. That was his Christmas. That was his next 2 Christmas and his next birthday present. So that was 2015, 2016 Christmas, and 2016 birthday.
I'll say this much. When, if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am, because I barely forget things, he did came through to me once when, a friend of mine from Belgium, or at least I think he did, or maybe he didn't. I need to remember and talk to him about it. He wanted to, either he made it, or he didn't make it, but he wasn't able to contact me. One of those 2 things happened, but at least he was upfront about it. This was years ago. And,
okay, okay, I gotcha. All right, so anyway, so I built up enough money over the last couple of years, and it's hard to get into even PAX.
You're breaking up for a minute.
It's such a big show compared to when we first went, and PAX Prime is almost impossible to get to.
Right.
So I've been talking to Steven's friend Scott, because I remember in 2014 the passes going up right before Thanksgiving, and this was like the Sunday before they actually went up. And then he messaged me at work on a Wednesday, PAX tickets just went up. And I was like, oh, great. So by luck, I did not, because it's one of those days where I'm at my primary job and I'm the only person in the store. I have to run the whole store. And I just got lucky that no one came in at that time. It was 1 Eastern, 12 Central.
Okay. And
the passes went up. And it took me, I didn't get the message until 5 minutes after it started. And then I hopped in immediately, and it was another 10 minutes in line. And once I got through the line, the 3-day passes were all gone. So I had to buy 3 sets of individual day passes for 3 Fridays, 3 Saturdays, 3 Sundays, which ended up being more money than I had planned on spending, but I was okay. So I've been selling a bunch of stuff on Amazon to help pay for it, and, I'm okay.
You are a very dedicated person to put up with all that crap to get your peeps to PAX East.
Well, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean,
Let me tell you something.
If they could hold it at a football stadium or, somewhere that had, like, let's say the Cowboys Stadium, they could easily have 100,000 people a day.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be in Boston. That's the problem. It would not be in Boston. It would not be in Boston. It has to be in Boston.
Well, I was doing some research. I think maybe me and you talked about this at some point. That is the biggest convention center on the East Coast. There's not a bigger one.
I know. I understand this. But here's the thing. PAX East is in Boston for a reason. And I don't need to get into those logistics because I have nothing to do with PAX East. But whatever deal they have, it's Boston, and it has to be in Boston. And it's always going to be in Boston, and that's it. Because that's how these things work. I've been to hundreds and thousands of these things. Once it's set in stone, you can't change it because you waste a whole lot of money and a whole lot of reputation.
Right. I think it also has to do with it being the largest convention center. It's cheaper to go to Boston than it is New York.
That is correct. And you don't want to deal with the damn Javits Center. It's bad enough that New York Comic Con happens there, but man, does Javits Center suck ass. And you know what? I mean that in a literal way. That place is a nightmare. You lose Wi-Fi, you lose cell phone coverage, it's all this damn concrete, there's always construction, and I don't give a flying fuck even if they are listening, cause it's all true.
Well, didn't a couple years ago they trash all the cosplay weapons, like the fake weapons?
Yeah, they're not cosplay friendly at all.
Right. Or, yeah. I remember seeing that a couple years ago as well. So.
Yeah. So they have disrespected whatever portion of their community that was the cosplay and anime audience. Oh, wholeheartedly. And on purpose, too. They don't want those people to come back. They only want the comic book people. That's it. They don't care about anime. They sure as hell don't care about cosplay. And they're very upfront about it, too.
That's just weird, because it just seems like those are the people that are willing to buy more.
I know.
It seems like to me the comic book people are all going to be browsing like the dollar. Like I have a friend who, an acquaintance. Let's say we were both in the old, like they did a video game podcast. They were mods on the HeroClix side of Versus Realms. Remember HeroClix Realms?
Vaguely, because I never got into HeroClix. I'm still waiting for Cliff to teach me.
Yeah, I never did either, but those guys all live in Iowa, and they did they do an Xbox-centric podcast. They've been doing it almost as long, if not longer, than CheckMate Arcade. I think they started a year or so after CheckMate. It's called Signed In.
All right, Jason.
But,
talk about Fire Emblem for like 3 minutes, because I need to put my phone back to the charger. I noticed that it's low on juice.
Okay, so basically Fire Emblem, when you go to retail to buy the game next week, there's Birthright and Conquest. And the game has different campaigns. Like I said, you were born to a family, but you don't realize that. The family you're raised by, you don't realize until about a quarter of the way through the game that that's not your birth family. And your birth family tries to get you back. And at the quarter way point of the game, you have to decide, am I going to go to the family I was born with, that's, the quote-unquote good guys? I mean, they're nicer, or are you going to stay with your family that raised you and they love you, but the king your quote-unquote father is this fully evil dude that just wants to kill everybody and rule the world. But your family's like, we can fight him together, we can change our kingdom together and make it not so evil. So when you buy the physical copy, your decision is already made at that 25% point, depending on which cart you buy. Now, what happens is if you want to experience the other side, you can buy the download for half price, and when you get to that point, you can choose, do you want to go one side or the other? And then 3 weeks later, there's going to be a third path that's a download, and you decide, I'm not going with either side. I'm going to forge my own path. And then you kind of have to fight both sides.
Well, that's a marketing scheme, if I ever heard one before.
It's interesting. Steven is very against it as well. But I just think it's interesting. I mean, I see it's Nintendo trying to make more money off of Fire Emblem, but it's a creative way of doing it.
With the right programmer, you could do it all in one game. There's no need to branch out. It's what I do with my games.
Here's the thing. So the collector's edition of the game that I was mentioning before, that Steven was upset because it's sold out everywhere. You cannot get it, except for eBay, of course. That version that I'm getting, all 3 games are on the same cart, no downloads.
Well, that makes sense.
But that's the only way to get it all on one cart without any downloads.
So let me ask you this. Does this collector's version let you follow any path without alterations?
Yes. Yeah, like when you get to the decision point, it's literally going to be like which path, it's going to give you the choice of which path to use. All 3 campaigns are on that one cart.
Okay.
And the cart is different artwork too. Like you can tell, because the cart, if you see it, there's a Polygon video of the unboxing, and the cart just says Fire Emblem Fates, and half of it's colored white, and half of it's colored black. So it's got a kind of cool little paint scheme. Whereas the normal carts would say Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, Fire Emblem Fates Birthright.
Interesting.
But this cart, the special cart, has all 3, all on the cart. So. And then they give you an art book and a 3DS pouch as well. And it's the same cost as if you buy all 3 campaigns. Like if you want all 3 campaigns, it's $80, and the special edition retails for $80.
So it's the same price.
It's the same price, but I mean, you get it all on one cart. You don't have to worry about any downloads, and you get an art book and a pouch for your 3DS.
If I gave a damn about the 3DS and got it years ago, the amount of conventions that I go through, I would have had a bazillion people on my cart already.
Oh gosh, like when Steven goes to PAX East, I mean, he won't even talk to you. He'll be so busy Street Pass, be like, we could be walking right next to each other and Steven won't listen. He'll just be like, it's like, Steven, did you hear anything? I said, huh? No, it was Street Pass.
Yeah.
What? Street Pass, what? And, I don't know what the deal is. There is a game store somewhere near where Scott and Steven live that have weekly Street Pass meetups. I mean, they meet at some game store that's near them.
What the hell is this, man? You mean to tell me that a group of, let's say, quote-unquote, happy people who love to meet other happy people meet up and yap about how many happy people are inside their frickin' mini computer?
Well, no, I mean, they go to, there's some physical games, retro game store in New Jersey, in Union, near where Steven and
you
Scott
see what I'm
live.
doing, right?
Huh?
You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You know what this means, right?
Shaking my SMH, yes.
Yes. That's how I feel what you're describing right now? Because I know how addicted people are to this type of stuff. I see it at conventions all the time.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I refuse to get a 3D whatever the frick it's called. Because if I ever got it, I would always have to leave it on, and then by the time I get home, let's see how many dum-dums saw my advertisement.
Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing with 3DS, and this is just kind of Nintendo being Nintendo. You can only hold 10 Street Passes at once. Once
wow.
you get 10, you have to clear them off by meeting them and doing the puzzle piece game and all this stuff. You have to meet them and clear off those passes before you meet anybody else. So if you did what you said, you would only 10 people would have seen it. Because you get 10 passes, you have to go through all the stuff with meeting them and exchanging puzzle pieces and the other Street Pass games. And then, once those people are gone, then you can get another 10.
You know, that is too high maintenance for someone like me. I would make my own version and screw Nintendo right up the rear. In a very nice way. I still own an original NES, and I picked up a whole boatload of Nintendo Power, so there's still love for Nintendo there.
Yeah. I had so many old Nintendo Powers. They're probably all destroyed now because they got put out in my parents' garage. And even if they're still there, I'm sure they're weather worn to hell and back.
Mm-hmm.
And those are so collectible now. Like, I could have probably made decent money selling them if they weren't, so I'm sure they're weather worn to crap.
Well, do you want to donate them to my event? I'll take them, if they're readable.
I don't, like I said, I'm going home at the end of the month. Try to remind me, but I will make it a point to go out to my parents' garage, and if my dad didn't trash them, try to see what kind of shape they're in.
Okay, sounds good.
I have no idea. They've been out there for probably 15 years since I've been to college.
Wow. That could be bad. That could be really bad. Exposed to elements like that?
Yeah.
Paper's not that sturdy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're talking like the the free Final Fantasy strategy guide that came with Nintendo Power. We're talking the Earthbound strategy guide. All that was out there.
Yeah. Jason, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Because I'm looking up at my Street Fighter 2 poster. Was that Nintendo Power, or was that some other magazine that I picked up in my youth?
It probably would have been, if it wasn't Nintendo Power, the only other magazine I remember having posters was like Game Pro.
Game Pro? You know, I think I had some, but not many.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that was a Nintendo Power poster.
Probably. It's pretty, I need to laminate it because it's in rough shape, but yeah.
But, alright, so PAX East, I'm really excited on going. I'm kind of waiting. Giant Bomb has had this series where they're playing all the Mario parties because they're one of their newer writers, Dan Riker, who used to be Game Informer. He loves the Mario parties, and he conned them into playing 50 turns of every core Mario party. And they've done the first 5.
Oh, man. 50 turns. That is not a true friend, man. That's what you call a true enemy.
So they've done the first 5, and when they did the 5th one last year, they did it at PAX Prime in front of a live audience.
Okay.
Now, I'm hoping that they do Mario Party 6 the same way, and part of the reason I'm hoping that is because they have Mario Party 6 thanks to me.
Really?
Yes.
Well, isn't that nice of you?
Well, I mean, it was something where the place where I played cards, Magic on Friday nights, I had been winning some tournaments and I didn't really need packs or anything, so I'd been banking the store credit, and they had a copy of Mario Party 6 there, and I sent a message to that Giant Bomb editor, Dan Reichert. I was like, you guys need Mario Party 6? They're like, yeah, we don't have it yet. Because for some reason, probably because Jeff Gerstmann, the person that owns Giant Bomb and used to run GameSpot before that whole fiasco, I'm sure because he hates the Mario Party games. He hates a lot of Nintendo stuff, but he likes some as well. But anyway, I'm sure like he made sure GameSpot did not keep Mario Party. So for some reason, GameSpot did not have the GameCube Mario Party games. So after winning 2 straight Friday Night Magics, I had built up enough store credit, $30 worth, to buy Mario Party 6. So I sent it to him. And we were also also GameStop was clearancing out GameCube accessories, and the store I shop at still had a GameCube microphone, so that cost me like 50 cents.
Okay.
So I bought that and sent it to him as well.
Alright. We're going to go on a history tour right now.
Okay.
So since we're talking about video games in general, it's time for me to enlighten people about what I like to call Tales from Phantasy Star Online for the Sega Dreamcast.
Yep.
Jason, what were you doing when Phantasy Star Online came out for the first time?
I was working my butt off as the sports editor of the Murray State News, and I never owned a Dreamcast, and only one person in my dorm, God rest his soul, Richie McClurkin, owned a Dreamcast.
Wow. He passed?
Yes, he passed
I'm
a
so
few
sorry.
years ago. Oh, thank you, yeah. But, yeah, he was one of the Murray State cheerleaders, and he was, is it Alpha? Or maybe he was with one of the fraternities on campus.
Okay.
Alpha Sigma Phi. Yeah, Alpha Sigma Phi.
Well, let's give props to Alpha Sigma Phi. Hope they're listening to this right now.
I think that's it. I'd have to go back and look at his Facebook profile is still active.
Good.
But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that was it. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. So he had a Dreamcast, but he didn't have fancy stuff. He had like NFL 2K and stuff like that. And he might have had Soul Calibur. He definitely didn't have Phantasy Star Online. So
well, I'll tell you. I didn't get it when it first came out, but when I did, it was an enlightening experience. I had to do whatever it takes to get it to go online. I had to lie, cheat, and steal the internet to get online. And by doing that, making bogus NetZero accounts to get that thing to get online. And searching forums for free accounts to get that thing to get online. Now, for a while, it was awesome. And it was fan-freaking-tastic. But then, something pissed me off. They made version 2. All of a sudden, my version 1 was outdated. And I'm like, Sega, you son of a bitch. What the fuck have you done to my favorite game ever? And now, let's talk about what ruined Phantasy Star Online. Game Shark and the other imitators ruined Phantasy Star Online. There were certain servers that you could not go to because they were full of people who enjoy just ruining your save data and making you into a default robot or the default what they call null code. An NPC who's a chick called Null. Yeah, you had to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah, the Dreamcast was not... One of its weakest things was its anti-piracy and things of that nature, because you could just burn any Dreamcast game and put that burned CD in the system and it would play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not talking about those weaknesses. I'm talking about people would manipulate the code from their Dreamcasters with like Game Sharks,
right?
And whatever, and use those codes to manipulate your data.
Right, yeah, I know, but I'm using that as another example. Like, Sega did not know how to secure their stuff, and that's part of the reason why the Dreamcast went under.
That opened up a miracle of opportunities. Why? Because you had homebrews, you had Beats of Rage, you had Street Fighter characters in Final Fight, which is fan-frickin-tastic. You had Guile and Cammy in Final Fight, which is fan-frickin-tastic. You had so many homebrews, which were also great because they're homebrews, and the law says if it's homebrewed, no reason not to have it. There's nothing stopping you from having it. Download it, play it on your system, it's all good.
I will counter that with the two American systems most famous for homebrew, not counting PCs. So, Dreamcast and PSP. Not exactly success stories.
Well, you know what? At least from the Sega's point of view, they're still around and they're still kicking. So that's got to stand for something.
Kind of. Like by accident. And by accident, they even own Atlas, which is the really weird thing.
Oh, really?
Yes, they bought Atlas a couple years ago when Atlas's parent company got... Basically, Japanese government shut them down because it was all run by Yakuza or whatever. Not Atlas, but Index
Yakuza.
Corp.
Yes.
Yeah, like the business Yakuza owned this company called Index, which owned Atlas. And Index was getting shut down, so Atlas went out. And why Sony did not... I mean, Sony was struggling then. This is like 2011, 2012. So this isn't... Like, Sony, was really struggling then, so they didn't have the money to do it. But Sega bought them for pennies, and if that happened now, I guarantee Sony would have bought Atlas like that.
Yeah.
But Sony didn't have the money. I mean, they're doing much better now that Kaz Hirai is running the company, and the PS4 is selling Game Busters, so they could buy Atlas now if Sega was to go under. But back then, there were rumors that people were wondering if Sony would even be able to put out the PS4, if they would be able to afford to put it out.
Now, I'll tell you this, and this is a hypothetical, because this is not legal, but I'll say, hypothetically, if there was a Dreamcast 3, hypothetically, you can run and emulate Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Neo Geo, no freaking problem. All you need is the right amount of RAM, and it's all good, and the right amount of licenses, and Dreamcast 3 will be the hybrid system that all the retro gamers would love to have.
Well, you already sort of have that with Hyperkin with the Retron 5. I mean, it doesn't have Neo Geo, and it doesn't have TurboGrafx, but it has everything else.
Yeah, but that's all emulation. Where the hell is the original stuff?
Well, you can't have the original. I don't know how that works.
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Okay. What I mean is, does it have original games for its own system or not?
The Retron 5 just plays the old. It just plays the original cartridge.
See, that's not good enough. You need a hybrid. By what I mean a hybrid system is supporting the old generations if you have the licenses to do so, but also have something new to catch the eye of those who don't give a damn about the old generation.
The problem is the market can really only support 2 consoles at once. I mean, there's been 3 consoles, but Nintendo Nintendo just barely outsold the Dreamcast.
That is correct.
Nintendo's only sold like 12 million Wii U's worldwide, which is a pathetic number.
Yep.
And for the longest time, the PS3 was way behind. Now, eventually caught up and passed, it passed the 360 worldwide, not in America, but it struggled for the longest time. So it was kind of the third console for a while. So it's something that the market, I just don't think, can hold something like that. I mean, you would also have to get into retail stores, and retailers are not going to stock a Sega console.
That's why you don't call it hybrid. Sega. You call it something else.
Well, I mean, for it to be Dreamcast, it has to be made by Sega.
True.
Sega doesn't have the money to do this. I mean, they barely get by with putting out Atlas games and a couple other games here and there. I mean,
that's why whenever I see or ever hear rumors about Dreamcast 3, I know in my mind it's like, oh, that's just wishful thinking. It's not going to happen.
Right.
A smart man, I would hope a smart man, or an intelligent man, would propose this concept to someone who's won the Powerball and is bored with their money. Be like, hey, how would you like to do something fun? I have this interesting idea for a system that will have all the retro goodness you could imagine, and then something new for those who don't give a damn. What do you think? If it was me, I would jump on it. I would name it after myself.
Well, see, the thing I wonder, I think Hyperkin and the like get by with selling, their different ones that play the old cards, specifically because it only plays the original stuff. It doesn't do something new. I wonder if you did the thing like you said, where it plays retro stuff, but then it also has a disk drive to play new stuff. I wonder where the legality, I would say Nintendo then would kind of come in and be like, hey, you can't do this.
Yeah, they would say, but then you could counter with like, we're also giving you X amount of money for all the cartridges that people are buying. You're getting this percentage, so shut the fuck up.
No, Nintendo wouldn't be. Nintendo doesn't make any money. It's the gray market. It's just like GameStop. Nintendo sees no money from somebody buying, a cartridge from a flea market. Or
No. Here's the thing. What I'm thinking is, right, when you have this universal system, okay, if you buy it from the flea market, that's fine. If you want to spend your time fishing through flea market madness, and me, Frank, if you want to deal with that crap, then joker it up. You want to know how I got these scars? I got them all game chasing with Jay and Billy. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! If you want to spend your time doing that, fine. But you know what? Show some support. Show some balls. Show some cojones. Buy the real games. Support the real companies. And there you go.
But the thing is, cartridges are so expensive to produce, and a lot of those Japanese companies wouldn't have the capability of reproducing, new cartridges of Contra or whatever.
That's why you have the new CD system. To bring the new stuff. There you go. Companies would eat it up, man. A way to make new things? A universal system? They'll be like, sign me up, baby. I want my new Contra. I want my new Rambo. Finally, a legitimate Rambo that doesn't suck. Finally, a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that is an ass. What do you have to say about that?
It's a wonderful dream, but I there's just too many. There's too many things that it just wouldn't work out, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, with enough money, it would work out. That's all the companies care about, man, is money. When it comes down to it, with enough leeway and enough money and intelligence, it all works out.
I just don't think there's enough private money anywhere.
Yeah.
That would.
You just need the right kind of person to win the right amount of Powerball to make it happen. A smart man. Like the current doctor of Doctor Who. Whatever the hell his name is. He must.
I don't know. I don't.
He must be a gamer. Capaldi. Peter Capaldi. Or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, the current Doctor Who. Let's say he won the Powerball and is a smart gamer. Why not? Everybody loves him as a doctor. He'll be the perfect spokesman.
I still don't think it's going to work out, man.
With
sorry.
enough money, man.
I'm not.
When you're shoving millions of dollars in people's faces, they're signed on the dotted line. Everyone has a price. $1 Million Man always said it.
That is true. I'm not as optimistic as you that there is a price that you could get everybody on board. That you can.
There always is, man. If they're in need and want to do something really awesome, like make a legitimate, high definition Final Fantasy VIII with that badass chick with the glasses. Oh yeah. Woo! Man, does she fly. Hell yeah, I would like to see her in HD. Strutting her stuff. Quintus, that's her name.
Yeah, it's Quintus.
Yeah. Sign me up, because I would buy a PS4 right off the bat just to play those games. I would break my vow of not supporting Sony because they killed Sega. That would do it, man.
Sega kind of killed themselves.
Hey. Not from my point of view, damn it.
Okay.
My point of view is this. Had Sony not been a dick to Nintendo, or Nintendo not been a dick to Sony, it still would have been Sega versus Nintendo, and no one would have heard of Microsoft. Microsoft would have stayed in their neck of the woods and not entered into the game market.
Yeah, but Sony would still be a player because it'd be joint with Nintendo.
Yes, but it would still be Nintendo system versus Sega. Two systems. Two systems can only be supported with the current video game market. Not three. Now, not four. Only two. You said it yourself.
Right. But I'm wondering if it was that way, Sega was losing money so much with really the Japanese side of the company's bad business decisions. I still think Microsoft would have come in because Sega just wouldn't have been able to afford. Because it depends on what would have happened. Like, would the split between Sony and Nintendo have come later because Sony would have wanted to make a system that did DVD movies, and Nintendo wouldn't have wanted that, and would that have been when the split happened?
Yeah. Because for some reason Nintendo is fixed on their outdated ideas. They look at future technology as, no, fire bad, get away, no, roar, bad.
Yeah, because even the Wii U now, I always thought it's not a Blu-ray disc, it's some proprietary Nintendo format, and those discs are super finicky, they're more finicky than a Blu-ray. Like, if they get any type of scratch or anything on them, they're done.
Yeah.
And you can't refurbish them. Like, even a Blu-ray, you can do a little bit of work to and it'd be okay. And of course, DVDs, all kinds of stores have machines to fix up DVDs, but those Nintendo, if you put a Wii U disc, if you get a GameStop refurbished Wii U game, it's just not going to play because they put it in the same buffer that the Blu-ray and DVD games go in, and it just ruins them.
Now, I want to bring note to the creator of Snatcher. Man, has he been through some bullshit.
Yeah, Hideo, yeah, but he's come out the other side now. Not your favorite company he's working for, but he is making something for Sony.
I know. But
I finally got to. I wish there was. Maybe that might be the first game that I would pirate. But I got to watch Giant Bomb did the first hour and a half of Snatcher.
Really?
The other week. Yeah.
You know, before my portable Sega CD finally kicked the bucket, I would play Snatcher every New Year's. Without fail. I was like, okay, it's New Year's again. Time to play Snatcher again. It's like an old friend, meeting up with an old friend for the New Year's. It's a great game.
Yeah, it's always one I always wanted to play, but I just, I didn't, Southern Illinois, there's not exactly a lot of Sega CDs around.
Yeah, you gotta come to the East Coast and game chase with me. You'll find a Sega CD. And you may find a decent Snatcher. Maybe Video Games New York. But they're a reseller. And they're in New York, so the price may be up there.
Yeah.
They're not what, I don't even care if they are listening. Because I'm independent. They're not what Pat the NES Punk would call, quote-unquote, cool peeps.
Right.
And if they're offended, too damn bad. Freedom of speech, biatch.
Well, I can get a Sega CD here in St. Louis. That's not the Snatcher would be the problem.
Yeah, it'll run you up about $200. It's fine. Dude, with the amount of money you spent on getting everyone to PAX East, $200 should be like pig's feet to you.
Well, yeah, but that was like my splurge for a year.
Well, just be a patient person, man. It'll come to you.
Yeah, I just wish that Konami cared enough to, like, oh, hey, here's the game on Good Old Games. Like, we're just going to put it as a $10 download on Good Old Games.
No. They can't do that. Snatcher's way too precious for that to ever happen. The only person who could possibly do that is the creator himself and be like, hey, guys, guess what? I'm bringing Snatcher to Sony because I give a damn. Well,
no, Konami owns it.
Oh, yeah? Well, then the creator would buy it from Konami. Be like, hey, Konami, you know my creation? Here's a boatload of money. Fuck you.
I think Hideo would try to fight over Metal Gear before he would fight over Snatcher.
See, he could get it for cheap.
I don't think Konami would sell it to him. That was not an amicable divorce.
Or maybe I could buy it from them. I'm an independent. I'm like, so, Konami, what you guys think about this Snatcher thing? You want me to buy it from you guys, maybe license it from you guys, and put it on Steam? And make fun of all these damn eBayers who think it's so rare, selling for $200? And
yeah, that irks me a lot. There's a lot of games like that.
Oh, I'm aware of all of them. Don't worry about it.
Well, like Square Enix, for example, owns Taito.
Yeah.
Like, they own all the Taito. Like, I understand they might not be able to put out Flintstones as a download, but why don't they put out Little Samson as a download on Wii U or something? Now, the people that paid hundreds and thousands of dollars for that game, yeah, you're going to piss them off, but somebody like me, sure, I'll pay $10 for that, versus, that's a game I'll never play, because I'm not going to download a ROM hack, of it, and I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a card.
Jason, if you really want to play Snatcher and not spend a lot of money, get SD Snatcher.
Get what?
SD Snatcher.
What is SD Snatcher?
Super Deformed Snatcher. I don't know if it's translated to the US or not, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
I mean, what does it play on? PC? Or?
Google it. You got a computer. I can't type because I'm recording.
Right. Okay, I just... Snapchat. Okay, it's the MSX2.
Wow, that system? Oh wow, that's ancient.
Right, yeah.
I thought it was more recent than that.
No.
Gotcha.
And the characters are all chibi style.
Yeah, that's super deformed.
Okay. I'd kind of rather play the regular version than this. Like, I'm seeing some screenshots here of this chibi version. It just doesn't look right.
Well, you know, it's interesting though. It has different things that the original Snatcher does not have. So if you play both, you get the best of both worlds.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I got plenty of time on my hands. I suppose I could write a proposal to Konami and be like, licensing Snatcher. How much you guys want?
I mean, they did it with Suikoden, which is surprising enough as it is that they did that. I mean, that's the first two of those are available for download on the Sony store.
Okay.
Which always gave me somewhat a hope, but...
Alright, so let's do this. Who has friendly relations with Konami?
Sony.
Alright, Sony, are you listening? Hold on. I hope that was loud enough. He shall knock on the door 4 damn times. Go license Snatcher, you bunch of idiots. Make a tank load of money.
Now, what you do is you tweet at Gio Corsi, who's the head of the building the list thing for Sony. He's the person in their third-party department.
Oh, really? All right, hold on. Let's do that right now.
I'm sorry, Gio. I'm sorry.
Let's do that right frickin' now. Where's my Twitter? Hold on, guys. I need to get my Twitter account. All right, Jason, you tweet to me. You tweet to my Twitter this guy's thing.
I'll type it to you here.
No. We're both going to tweet him at the same time. This is the rules of the podcast. You tweet me and I'm gonna retweet it.
Oh.
We need to timestamp this so that people can understand when was this recorded.
Oh, poor Sam. Hey, any chance you guys can get Konami to port Snatcher to PS4/Vita?
Alright. Now, remember to put my name on it. I have my notifications on.
I know, I'm getting there. Hold on, I have to do that. I have to do the hashtag.
Yep. Do the hashtag, all the good stuff.
And then I tagged you at the end.
Alright.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, I don't see my notifications yet. It takes a while. Come on, Internet. Be fast. Let me go home. Oh, got one notification. Ooh. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Let me retweet and put here, damn, my Japanese is rusty as all hell. Hold on. Domo. Damn it, how the fuck do you spell arigato? Screw it, I gotta look at sticks. Wait a minute. Where's the lyrics to Mr. Roboto? Hold on. Mr. Robot. There we go. Mr. Roboto lyrics. Ah, here we go. The sticks. Yes. This is how I get the perfect spelling. Domo arigato. Let me copy that. Copy. Hold on, Jason. I'm working on this. Give me a second. And, okay. Oh, there he is. Let me copy her. Okay. There we go. There's my thing there. Oh, but I forgot to tag you. Oh, dagnabbit.
I got the like.
Okay.
I see the like.
Yep, that was me. Alright. Now, hopefully, whoever's listening to this will add on to the list. Let's make this happen, dagnabbit. Let's do the momentum. Okay, there we go. We gotta build up the fandom. We gotta make this happen. Snatcher does not need to cost $200 frickin' dollars.
This is true. And it happened with Earthbound.
Yep.
Although it's, well, Earthbound is still a $200 card, even though you can buy it as a download for $10 on Wii U.
Yeah.
It's still a $200
still
card.
Still a $200 card. That's because the card is rare or whatever. Rare.
Well, so is Snatcher, but yeah, but I mean, freaking Chrono Trigger, that's on the Wii Virtual Console. There's a DS version of it. There's a PS1 version of it, but the Super Nintendo card's still $100.
All right. Yeah. Okay, let me exit out of browser here. Oh, this is a legitimate podcast size. We're almost at the hour mark. All right. It's my own CheckMate Arcade over here. You know what? I'm going to give this to you guys. This will be my present for your PAX East adventure.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to see you guys on Sunday, no matter what, because I'm going to Boston on Sunday.
Okay.
I already told my friend McBee. I'm going to crash at Salem for a while. We're going to shoot the shit. And then after that, when you guys are done with PAX East, I'm going to hang out with you guys.
Okay.
That's...
we should be done probably about 6 o'clock local time.
Okay.
I mean, about 5, 6 is when the convention ends, so it might even be earlier if neither of us have anything going on. It depends on, like, if there's some magic thing going on or some last panel we try to get to.
Okay.
Like, the only Sunday panel I know I'm going to, there'll be the Paxomania, all the video game
what the hell
industry
is that?
people playing. That's all the video game industry people. They have this whole wrestling federation, but they play like the WrestleMania 2000 on N64.
Oh, what the hell?
They all get like their own wrestling personas and everything. But instead of doing, quote unquote real wrestling, they do it in the video game, but they have storylines and everything.
Alright. That sounds hilarious.
It's Paxomania.com.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something about the wrestling for the Sega CD. You can actually knock out the referee and do illegal moves. I found that out.
Oh yeah, because that's basically a port of Royal Rumble from the Genesis, and it's a port of Royal Rumble from the Genesis. And
see, I never knew that because I never had that game for the Genesis.
Okay, well, that's what that game is. It's called, isn't it called like Steel Challenge or something?
Oh, something like that.
It's a port of that game, except it's got more characters. And it actually has their Titantrons, because, it's a CD.
Yeah. I always thought that was, rather odd, that you need it to be at a certain position, but you could, wow!
Rage in the Cage.
Wow!
That was its name.
Knock out the referee, and then you can do your cheat moves, and the referee's like, he's knocked out, you can do them forever.
Right. Yep.
There was also Revenge of the Ninja. I basically had all the codes, but I only screwed up on one, the autoplay code. Because if it's still the same information that I inputted, the autoplay code does not work. And that's Revenge of the Ninja for the Sega CD. I helped put the bulk of the codes that were missing in that game.
Okay. Did you know that was originally a Laserdisc game from 1984?
Yes, I'm aware of Laserdisc games, like Lupin the Third.
Okay. That's actually, yeah, I mean, that looks like the art style even. I'm looking at the Japanese arcade
Yeah,
flyer.
but look up, while you're typing, look up codes for the game, for the Sega CD game. I want to see if my codes are still there.
Were they on Game FAQs or something?
Yeah, you're damn right they were.
Would you have been the same name as before?
I don't remember what the frick my name was back then.
Well, the only codes they have attributed are from Expensive Gift, Arguro, Expensive Gift, Memorize 99.
Okay, and what are the codes?
Level skip, test mode, unlock sound test, and then there's a group of like 8 cheats for 320 video, debug, in pause, master command, Mugen, Muteki, pause off, stage select.
Interesting. Could be based on what I put in there, but those are not my names. I would need to look at my original data if I still had it. Because I had things like, man, to try to remember back then, almost impossible. And then there was Dark Wizard. I had the code that in Dark Wizard, if you have a turbo controller, once you kill an enemy, but you hold down the turbo, you can attack again because it jumps to the menu, but then it jumps back to your character. That code was my input. That was for Dark Wizard for the Sega CD.
Yeah, the only thing Game FAQs list are confronting Arla Man and switching between chaotic and lawful alignments.
So nothing about an extra attack.
No, not on Game FAQs. IGN.
Oh, you know what? It's not. It's still Game Facts, right?
Right. That's where I just looked. And then,
they must have killed all the old data then.
Yeah, they've gone through a couple revisions on the site.
Yeah, they lost all my codes. Not good. No bueno. Lost data, man. Never a good thing. Let's see here. What other game did I help out on? Microclasm or Macroclasm. There were some codes that the level select codes that they didn't have in general. I added those in for GameFAQs. Yeah, because I was a Sega CD expert, because I had the damn thing. I had the part where you open the lid in a boss level, and the boss stops moving, you can still kill the damn thing. Because when you're in a CDX, that's all you do. You just open the lid, CD stops, the boss perfectly still. You shoot, done. Not even an angry video game nerd knows about that. He never had a CDX. But I did.
Yeah, it was always something I would, read about it in GamePro, but, my area of Southern Illinois, we didn't have, like, a mall, like, up until, I would say, 1990. When did the Marion Mall open? Like 93 or 94 or something like that. Maybe even
like
95.
Yeah, in St. Louis?
No, the Southern Illinois.
Oh, Southern Illinois? I don't know. I mean, that's...
You wouldn't know when it... What I'm getting at is until that mall opened, which was either 93, 94, or 95, my choices for video games were JCPenney, Sears, and Walmart.
See, that was before my time.
Coast to Coast Hardware.
That was before my time where I was at Chicago.
Right. But there was no Toys R Us, there was no Target, there was no EB Games.
Mm-hmm. You remember...
KB Toys. I forgot KB Toys.
You remember, what the hell was it? Babbage's? What was it?
We didn't have a... Babbage's didn't open until EB Games.
Really?
Opened in Marion. Babbage's would have opened in Carbondale. Yeah.
I see.
But what I'm getting at is by the time those stores opened, the Sega CD was done.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like right before the lead up to Saturn. Because Saturn came out in 95. So
from my point of view, Saturn never should have happened. Not because it was a failure, only because its timing was off. Saturn could have been greater had they have combined the Saturn library with the Dreamcast library.
Well,
Don't mind that.
As big of a Sega fan as you are, I'm going to highly recommend a book to you and to anybody listening.
Now, hold on. I had some, my laptop had issues, so they might have heard some rattling. That was not me. That was my laptop. I need to fix that. So if that rattling hurt your ears, I apologize. I have no control over it. Continue, Jason.
Okay, the book is Console Wars. You've probably heard of it.
Probably.
It's made the rounds. It is the inside story of how Sega of America took the Genesis to #1 in America. It's told. It's all firsthand interviews, and it's the story from the guy. I forget his name, but like he was the one who created Flintstone vitamins. He revived Barbie in the 70s when Barbie was about to go out. And, through happenstance, he ended up becoming president of Sega of America right after the Genesis launch in America kind of just fluttered and didn't. So, like, between the Genesis launch in America and before Sonic 1.
Okay.
That's when this guy took over Sega of America, and he took Sega to #1. And there's all the stuff in the book about, the TLDR version is all his ideas and the people he had working for him did an awesome job and got Sega to #1 in America and Europe. And the Japanese side of Sega was pissed off that they were doing so well in the West and Sega couldn't make headway against Nintendo in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And Sega Japan made all these decisions to undermine him leading up to the Saturn, just flat out.
This is what happens when you have East and West not meeting eye to eye.
Right. And you being a huge Sega fan, like me being a Nintendo person, it was a wonderful read to learn the history of Sega of America.
Well, here's the thing.
For you being a Sega person,
it's not that I am a huge Sega fan. It's just that the games that Sega made were right up my alley. Now, Sega as a system, they fucked shit up for the wrong reasons. And I'm very disappointed on them. Because they did mess up. They screwed up with the... whatever the hell that attachment was called. The 32X.
Yeah.
That was a load of ass.
Yeah.
And Lord knows how the angry video game nerd feels about Sega CD, which is freaking hilarious with Fred Fox. Fred Fox.
I liked the Sega CD. It was just something where back then, me having 2 video game consoles, there was no way my parents were gonna go for that.
Yeah.
So I was already well entrenched in Super Nintendo, so me getting a Genesis and a Sega CD just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. That's why
I would sit there and look at GamePro and just wistfully wish that I could get Snatcher, that I could get Lunar, which I finally got.
Oh, really? Lunar. Well, aren't you blessed? I had that for ages, man. Eternal Blue and Silver Star.
Yeah, I had to wait for the PS1 ports.
Yeah, fantastic games, both of them.
Yep.
Hold on.
I never beat the second one. I beat the first one. I never beat the second one.
Hold on a second. Hold on. No, this is not Lunar that I'm thinking of. It's actually Magic Knight's Ray Earth. Or is it Lunar? Dagnabbit, I can't remember. It's gonna sound horrible. But here we go. No, I'm not gonna do it. It's in my mind. It's playing right now, but my Japanese is horrible, so I don't want to butcher it. But I'll let you know. It's playing in my mind, though. One of the themes. It's either Magic Knight's Ray Earths or one of the Lunars. Because the Magic Knights game for the Sega CD or the Sega Saturn, very good game.
Okay, but like I said, I highly recommend if you get a chance, Console Wars. I mean, it came out in paperback last year.
I'll add it to the library for the fundraiser event. Because it sounds like a very good book.
It is. I read it in a week. It was fantastic.
Good, very good. I'll read it first, and I'll add it to the library. Should be a fun read. Yeah, I still have to find where the hell my 30-plus anime magazines and 15-plus Game Informers are at. They're somewhere in my room. But since I'm leaving to DC in literally a day from now, they have to stay here hidden until I re-find them again. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of Game Informers.
I do too. Funko Land couldn't even give them away. That's how many of them I have.
Well, now they're part of GameStop. They're part of the Power Up Rewards Pro. So
I know.
I have like several years worth of them.
Well, that's good. You have a good collection.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Alright, so let's get back to Phantasy Star Online.
Okay.
Kind of went back on a tangent. So once version 2 came out, you noticed some different things. There were these lobbies that were party rooms. And by party rooms, what I mean is you had to hang out in the lobby for a while and hopefully not get PK'd by someone or duplicated by someone. And then you would come into this magical field where you run around and you play soccer. And by soccer, I mean this overgrown soccer ball that is like bigger than your character sprite. And you're just walking at it or running at it, and it's moving and it's pretty freaking hilarious. And also another thing that version 2 of Phantasy Star Online did was downloadable missions. Missions were a very intricate part of this adventure, and downloadable ones had added this element that was relatively new to the video game industry, a version of DLC.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Even Skies of Arcadia had it. They had some DLC missions or downloadable missions.
I wonder, didn't those get added in? Is that why my GameCube copy is called Skies of Arcadia Legends? I think those were added in. I think those are on disc on the GameCube version.
Those are the downloadable missions that you would download with your VMU.
Okay. Either they're in there, or since they're VMU, they might not have shown up at all, or something.
Well, you would have to look up old Sega knowledge to figure out if they're in your version or not.
Yeah.
And with that note, I think we're done here. We're at almost 1:15. This is a decent sized cast. Alright, Jason. So a website you would like to give props to before we get going?
I'm going to say giantbomb.com. There we go. They're pretty cool. They've got some great podcasts for current stuff. You know, they've got two of the most popular video game podcasts out there, and they do different free and premium videos. I sent you a link from when they did the playthrough for the first hour and a half of Snatcher.
All right.
We just did it a couple weeks ago. I sent you a link to that video.
Okay.
So they have premium videos, they have free ones, and they do all kinds of stuff. So I'm a premium member there. So Steven's a big fan of them as well. So check out Giant Bomb. Pretty cool site.
All right. Sounds good. And on that note, we're out of here, everyone. Stay frosty. Hail to the king, baby. Oh, yeah.